Tom, it's great to see you. So, what is it, 13 years since you were last in the BSB paddock?
Yes, 13. So it's been 1 or 2 years. Bit of a climate change and one thing and another, and also different way of riding. So just, slowly learning.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you back. And I guess a lot of things, as you said, they've changed over time. And, you know, you become a world champion, you become an icon. You know, you've been flying the flag for the UK all over the world. But you're back here. It's great to see you here. And it's also kind of the same place that you started your relationship with Shark back in, was it 05, 06, something like that?
Around that time. I couldn't pinpoint it because it's going back over a decade, but a while ago.
Yeah, so you've actually brought one of the original Sharks with you as well, so an RSR from back in the day.
Yeah.
Should we have a quick look at that? And
no worries.
Talk me through it.
Going back, I mean, so this was 2006. As you can probably see, shape, weight slightly changed in the recent years. Also, the visor. I mean, that was one thing for me. I remember always looking through the visor, and you kind of vision was a little bit, let's say, hampered. But this is 2006, riding for TAS Suzuki.
Yeah.
Good boys, Philip and Hector Neal. And it's actually got, this will make Hector smile, it's got a sticker on from the Sunflower Trophy Races. So we used to go there at the end of the year, have a bit of fun, put a loud exhaust on the 600 and go racing.
So good times.
Oh, awesome times.
So how much has changed? So talking about from that helmet there and those times there compared to what you race in now. So you're now racing a Race R Pro.
Yeah.
Just how drastically different is that?
Well, massive. I mean, obviously everything in life progresses, and obviously now wearing the Shark helmets, the aero, your field of vision, the safety, the aesthetics. And, you know, massive is the weight. The weight, big difference. And combination of lighter and more aero gives your neck a lot easier time. And for me, Shark is a fantastic manufacturer and helmet,
I guess one thing that we do see every now and again is some riders will change helmets like their underpants, you know, they're keen to make the change, but obviously your relationship with Shark has been ongoing for such a long time, you know, from the infancy back in the mid-noughties. Here you are still flying that Shark flag. What is it you like about the Shark brand to work with? What makes these guys special? Is it a trust thing? Is it just that you have a good relationship with the manufacturer?
Yeah, basically what we said, first and foremost for me, safety is paramount, and I think that's why you see we've got a great relationship. You know, certainly with me doing the World Championship, my relationship has been direct with Shark in France, and it's just continued. We've had some great times together. Unfortunately, now we're just having a little bit of a steady start, but relationship is key. Safety is paramount, and unfortunately, you know, I have it made 1 or 2 times. Fortunately, not many times. But wearing the Shark, you know, I'm even recently actually a big accident in Barcelona.
Oh,
right. End of last year, and you know, I can't thank Shark enough, because for the state of the accident, the outcome was quite incredible. So
that was the Catalunya crash. Which I mean, that was. Yeah, it looked pretty scary on the screen. So, you know, what you must have gone through. Fair play. It's great to see you back here all in one piece and, you know, getting stuck in. But I understand just seeing that why you would have so much faith in Shark. I'm going to get a bit nosy now. Because you run a few different designs, and I want to kind of understand the influence of the paint jobs that you have. You know, where does that come from? I can kind of see some continuity with one of your core designs from way back in the day. That's just you. But your take on Yorkshire is very different to mine. So I want to bring that helmet in, because, well, you explain it to me.
Yeah, well, basically, you'll see on all my helmets really that I run always like the fluoro red. So from 2006 to 2022, there's a fluoro red. Generally, I've always liked to keep the helmets quite the same throughout the year. Recent years, I thought, you know what, let's start having a play. So I have a little bit of a main design, but I like the designs on the side as well, and I'm not restricted to energy drink suppliers, etc. You know, so if anyone's watching and you know, if you feel like you want to, you know, let's go through the motion there. But no, up until recent years, always one design, but now a little bit of a change. And I'd say quite a lot is courtesy of Phil at Paint Nation. So he comes up with his little concepts. He knows, you know, there's things I like to keep in the design. So here you can see Yorkshire. So we've used Castle Hill, which is in like in Almonbury, very close to where I was born and raised. And it don't really take much seeing that we've gone a bit Miami Vice, but you know, what has Miami got on Yorkshire end of the day? You know, we've got our own, you know, palm trees. We've got, you know, the Yorkshire Rose, and on all of my helmets now, you know, I run different pictures of my daughter. This one's, you know, going back so just so if you can see that on the camera. So yeah, and it's just nice because as a rider point, when you put a helmet on, it goes there, and as you put it on, that's you know, I look at my girls as the helmet goes on. So it's something personal. You know, I've got you know, Millie and me on my helmet, and Brooke is my granddad Peter Brook. You know, who obviously without him I wouldn't be racing motorcycles and where I am today. So he's and you know, he's here today, 83-year-old, and still enjoying life. So fantastic. So there you go, Yorkshire Vice, not Miami, Yorkshire, and I think it looks awesome. It's had some great feedback, and it's a great day here in Donington. I think I'll bring a bit of summer and wear it today.
You sure are. When you're talking about sponsorship, I don't think you want an energy drink. You want Yorkshire Tourism Board on there. I think they owe you.
Yeah, well, everyone knows about Yorkshire people. They're tight, aren't they? So I've got more chance of seeing the Pope, I think. But yeah, no, we'll see. What I even got a deck chair on there. Yeah, that must be in Scarborough.
Yes. Do you know what? It's been a real pleasure to catch you and. To get your take on that, you nearly had me in tears, but it's you've got an exciting year ahead. It's fantastic to have you back here in BSB, and we're really excited to see you get stuck in and get those results that we know you as a world champion are more than capable of. You know, it's
yeah. I mean, it's a steady start to say the least. But like I said, I'm very fortunate. I've been doing a little bit of work, let's say testing with Ducati in recent times. So that's great for me because obviously testing is one thing, and you go there, you know, you always keep a good percent in the pocket because you're there to test. But even with that in mind, performance is not an issue. So there's no doubt in myself. Just here is a different way of riding, and just need to get my head back in that way. So struggling, but I'm sure if we can get to the bottom of the cause, we'll be away again. Yeah,
I've got faith in you. Good
Cheers.
To catch you, mate.
Top man, thank you very much.
So Tom's had to shoot, but he's left us with his helmet, and I'm here with Mark, my mate, who's now going to talk me through this helmet and the kind of stuff you have to do to make sure when he's out on track, he's got the lid he needs on his head. So if I was Tom and I brought this into you, what's the process? How does it work?
Okay, well, at the moment we've got 3 of Tom's helmets, so weather conditions at the moment are not looking too great, very changeable, so definitely not going to be sunny.
Yeah.
So dark visor is out of the question.
Okay, yeah.
So we have 2 versions of a tint variation for him, and his choice now will be the lowest tint, so a very, very mild tint. We'll run with 2 tear-offs, just because the time scale, depending how many laps he's going to try and do, what they've got to work on in the sessions. Obviously he's going to be in and out of the garage.
Yeah.
So at least if we've got 2 tear-offs for the whole session, then he'll be able to do. He'll also have his spare helmet, which we've set for wet, so that's got a clear visor on, mask in, everything's prepped for actually raining.
Proper looking after him then.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it is trying to anticipate what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So kind of understanding the rider, what they like, what they need. You know, some guys will go out in a dark visor in these conditions because they don't want to see the rain or the wet, and leave that with you.
So is that's a personal kind of, every rider you kind of get to know on that level from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much, I can kind of, I'll know what he's going to go for.
Okay.
And then if everything's prepped and ready, plus we have spares.
Yeah.
So if he suddenly changes his mind at the last minute, he's got his bag with the helmet and with this set, but there's also options to go darker or clear, and he's wet as well, so we can switch.
So how often are you servicing a helmet of his?
Every time they go out for a session. Sometimes, depending on how many changes they're making to the bike, he's going to be in and out the garage all the time.
Okay.
So he just needs to have the option. Sometimes he'll use 2 helmets. So potentially 2 or 3 visors might get used in that. So he'll bring those helmets back, so then we clean and prep the helmets and the visors again. So he's then got the same options for this afternoon, because it's likely to be raining out for this afternoon. But then tomorrow, we're looking at the forecast, we're looking at the air pressure, the air temperature, to see what we're thinking the weather's going to go. It's not going to be sunny, so maybe even tomorrow and for the races, might not be using dark visors.
So I get the more blatant thing to address is the visor, suit the conditions, the tear off. So like you say, if Tom likes 2, job done. But what else needs to go into servicing that helmet? What other kind of things would you be looking at?
Well, obviously, again, depending on how many laps he's done, it's probably going to be sweaty as well. So Tom uses a sweat pad in his helmet because he's got no hair. Okay. Which you won't mind me saying. But
I hadn't noticed.
These things, you have to take into consideration, because it's if you get sweating a lot, then there's no hair to stop the movement.
Yes.
So he uses a small sweat pad in the front just to prevent any sweat running down into his eyes.
Yeah.
So they'll have to be changed, and then we'll dry. The helmet will be on the fan to dry out, so that when he takes them out in the garage, as soon as he puts it on, it's clean, fresh, dry, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so you flagged that we're likely to see a bit of rain today. How do you ensure that this helmet, this visor, stays good and working as it needs to in the wet?
Okay, well, there's a number of elements to it. Obviously, the ventilations. When it's raining, we don't want any water going into the helmet, so all the vents are closed, any switchable vents are closed, and then it comes into play with all the venturis. So it's about, once they start moving, it's drawing all the hot air out of the helmet. So the visors themselves have an anti-fog coating on the inside of the visor, so we don't use a pin lock because it's class 1 optical. Yeah. So this coating has to be clean for it to work properly. So that's why you see us cleaning the visor every single time, even though it's not dirty. We go through the process every time to make sure that the visor's clean, and we ensure that it works. With Tom's wet helmet, he runs with a rubber mask. So this is the wet helmet here, clear visor. Tom uses we put an additional rubber on the top of the helmet. It's not for visor sealing. It's for the position when he's on the bike, in the crouch position, because obviously even though it's got a screen, they're quite short, and you tend to get the rain will force when you're doing 200 miles an hour with the rain coming over the top of the screen. It's there just to deflect the rain over, to make sure that the rain doesn't run down into the aperture. So you've got the coating. Tom runs the rubber mask, so basically it's closing off the breath to come onto the visor. So the ventilation on the inside of the helmet has a filter, and that has 2 positions, one for dry and one for wet. So when it's set for wet, all the vents are closed, no water going in, and only the airflow comes up onto the visor. So it's like turning the blowers on the windscreen. The car just blows the air up onto the visor to keep that clear. And apart from that, that's really the only difference. Obviously, all the vents will be closed.
So all things considered, it sounds like on a BSB race weekend, you've really got your hands full. I guess the next question is, how many Toms are there in this paddock that you look after? How many riders are you taking care of?
Obviously, Tom is one of our top sponsored riders, so we only actually sponsor a handful of riders, the rest of the guys who are buying their helmets, but we still look after those guys anyway. So I think at the moment, probably 54-ish at the moment. Tom's got 3 or 4 helmets, some of the guys only have 2. But yeah, definitely keeps us busy, and today, for free practice and the weather changing like this, we'll see the guys twice, so 3 helmets.
You're going to be a
times
busy
2
man.
sessions, changing visors, 3 or 4 options on the visors, so yeah, very busy. Free practice is always the busiest day. Sunday, we look forward to Sunday, that's the easiest day.
Well, I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks again for your time, Mark.
Okay, no problem.
Really appreciate it.